Hi, I'm Shauna, this is Shauna's World. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if it's your first time, then welcome. Today I'm just going to be doing a kind of casual Q&A. I decided I would do it when I got to 100 subscribers on YouTube, and I put a call out on Instagram for questions and got lots of interesting questions, so I'm going to answer some of them now. And thank you so much for getting me to 100 subscribers. I know it's not very much in the grand scheme of things, but every single one makes a difference. I think 116 now. 116 people are watching my videos and coming back for more. That feels good. So thank you to everyone who comes back again and again. And if it's your first time here, then please do hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and leave a comment down below if you have any more questions. So these questions are kind of very general, very all over the place, about different aspects of me and my life, and hopefully it'll help you to get to know me a bit better and what this channel is all about. Okay, so I'm just going to get straight into the questions. So the first one is, what is your favourite place to hike? That's a really difficult one because I love hiking, and I love hiking pretty much anywhere. But one that really stands out in the UK definitely is the Lake District, and I know that's a cliche. I've only actually been once, but the landscapes are just so beautiful, and you just feel like you're in Norway or somewhere just really rural, but yeah, just so beautiful, nice places to wild swim, nice walks. And the time I went to the Lake District was with a female adventure community, Love Her Wild, that I'm a part of, and it was 6 women getting together to try and hike the equivalent ascent of Everest over 5 days and over the different peaks of the Lake District. And it was really good fun. We didn't make our target. There's a video about it actually, which I'll link down below. But yeah, it was just magical, and it was partly the circumstances and being around those people and making such solid friendships, but also just such a stunning place to hike, you know, really challenging but really beautiful. In terms of in the world, I think my favourite places I've hiked probably in the Dolomites in northern Italy, and also Switzerland, which I didn't actually do that intense hiking because I was there with my dad, who's obviously older, and he can't go too hard on the hills, but just the landscapes are so beautiful, just stunning mountain backdrops. So I'd really like to go back and do more of that. Okay, next question. Are you still doing bushcraft? Yes. So if you followed me on Instagram, you'll have seen in the past I posted a lot of stories from my bushcraft course. I'm doing a 2-year, well, it was meant to be a 2-year bushcraft course with Woodland Ways called the Woodland Wayer, and it's 1 weekend a month, and each weekend focuses on a different bushcraft skill, and it's been amazing. It's obviously drawn on slightly longer because of COVID and lockdowns, and so I have a couple more sessions left of that, but I've really enjoyed it. I've kind of learned to discover what aspects of bushcraft I like more, so I'm actually not that keen on the crafting side of things. I'm not very crafty, I'm not very good with my hands, but I really like things like foraging and plant identification and kind of reading the woods, and I like the fire building, shelter building, wild cooking. I really enjoy that. So yes, I'm still doing it. When the course ends, I plan to try and still get out into the woods as much as I possibly can. Sleeping in the woods makes me very happy, but I've still got a few sessions more of the course. All right, next one. How many calories a day are you on for bikini prep? So currently I am on 1,650 for a training day and 1,550 for a rest day. That's recently gone down as I'm getting closer to the show. I was about 200 calories higher for the last month or 6 weeks or something. It is going to go lower, I'm sure, the closer we get to the show, but this is working for me now, and I'm still seeing changes in my composition. I'm not getting too hungry on it, but just to flag, everybody's calories are so specific to them, and it's based on what your lifestyle is, what your body is doing. So don't ever copy what I do. You know, you need to work with your own coach to know what calories you need to be on. How did you meet your girlfriend? So Rowan and I met online. Basically, yeah, I know online is, you know, doesn't feel that magical, but it felt so magical because we're both asexual, and it's really hard to meet other asexual people, and pretty much the only way to do it is online, because you just don't meet people day to day that often who are asexual. And she just put herself on an asexual dating website like ages ago and forgotten about it, and I was kind of dipping in and out, and I found her profile, and she had a picture of herself on Scaffold Pike just looking amazing, and I loved her profile, so I sent her a message, and I think she was like quite nervous, and we ended up meeting up, going for a date in London Bridge, and the rest is history. We just clicked. And for both of us, we're kind of each other's first relationship. I had like 1 3-month relationship before, but she's my first serious relationship. So yeah, I feel very lucky. Best and worst things about living on a boat. Okay. The best thing is being closer to nature, and particularly where I'm moored, it's really lovely just on the river. There's loads of plant life around. I'm in the middle of the river, so I'm away from kind of the noise and the hustle and bustle, and I feel like I do get to just sit and look at nature, and that is so special. And you know, I don't properly see the sunrise from my boat, but when I can see a sunrise, like just the changing of light in the sky in the morning, that's the best feeling. I also like the simpler living style of things and not having rooms full of stuff. The worst thing about living on a boat would have to be the winters and the lack of light and power. So I'm fully solar powered, and last winter with working from home, I really struggled, because I would use all my solar power to power my laptop through the day, and then I'd have to sit in darkness in the evening, and it was cold and it was damp. Even with the fire on, I never really felt fully comfortable. Even last winter, I spent a lot of the winter at my mum's because of lockdown and because of the issues on my boat, but I'm not looking forward to having to do Decembers and Januaries on the boat every winter. But it's part of the price I pay for the joy of the summer. Next question, will you move to Frome? That's from my friend Bex, and I won't rule it out. I do love Frome and I can see myself living there, so if you just would have a few more marinas so I could put my boat there, I'm not going to complain. Next one, how do you find time to fit it all in? So yeah, it can be hard. I have a lot on at the moment. Bodybuilding training is very full on. I'm training twice a day or 1 long session a day, so then I'm trying to fit that around a 4-day-a-week job, blogging, YouTube, and breath work, which I've finished my 10-month facilitator training now, but I'm also trying to actually start using my facilitation skills and getting it out there and building a website and all of this. So I do have a lot on at the moment. In terms of fitting it all in, I find it really hard, and I'm a very disorganized person. I find it hard to stick to a plan, but I just find that the best thing for me to do is just to, it's probably not the most logical solution, but I just follow my gut on what is most pressing and what I most need to do at the time. And then when things are really overwhelming, like I don't know how I'm going to get everything done in a day or in a week, I'll just write down like hour by hour what I'm going to do and try and fit it all in. I will say that for all the hobbies and things I love that I'm trying to fit in, I have probably let my social life go a bit and not been the best friend and girlfriend and family member that I could possibly have been. And I would also say boat jobs, housework, cleaning, that kind of thing, that has gone out the window a bit. I do like little bits, but yeah, I just don't feel on top of kind of life admin and cleaning and that kind of thing. So in terms of how I fit it all in, generally I don't, but I just do the best I can with what I have. Okay, so next question. You are juggling a lot of different hobbies and work. Which is your current fave? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I don't know if I could choose, and I know that's a cop-out, but I feel like I find making YouTube videos very fulfilling and I really enjoy it, and I feel like it's kind of more of a creative outlet, and that is brilliant because I haven't really had that always. But the fitness side of things is really important to me. I love a run and I'm loving the gym. Bodybuilding as a whole I wouldn't say is my favourite, because I'm the show side of things, the competing, the posing, all of this is actually really not that comfortable for me, and I'm not looking forward to it. So I wouldn't say I love bodybuilding the most, but I do really love being in the gym, and I do love the consistency of my training. And then kind of bushcraft and being in the woods and stuff, like that just brings me back to myself. It's like coming home. And I guess breathwork is the same. And breathwork is obviously like turning into a side hustle as well. So if I had, no, I can't choose. I'm sorry, I can't choose an answer. They're all important to me. Right, when did you start running? Have you always liked it, or did it take time? So I have basically run on and off since I was a very young child. I haven't always loved it. When I was a kid, my dad used to really try and encourage me in running, and like say other kids would get pocket money for doing chores or just for whatever, and we get pocket money for running and beating our times and being a better runner. And I think that actually took some of the fun out of it for me. And it felt like a chore a lot of the time, but I did also find some enjoyment in it. But I really lacked confidence with it, and I feel like if I'd just pushed myself more, if I'd been more dedicated, I could have done so much better in running. And then as an adult, I stopped running like at university, and afterwards when I was working in a really full-on job, I was just living a really unhealthy lifestyle, not looking after myself. That's when I was going through all my mental illness and psychosis and stuff. So I just didn't run, didn't feel like it, didn't have the confidence. And then I kind of found it again around 2013, and I did my quickest half marathon, sub 2 hours, and I was like really trying to improve my times. Did London Marathon in 2014 and got injured, and that was a bit miserable, but I also really enjoyed it. And now running for me is more like I do it because it feels good. I just get out. That some days I feel like running fast, some days I feel like running long. Obviously with bodybuilding I have to limit the amount of cardio I'm doing and the amount of running, but yeah, I really love running. But no, it's always been a part of my life on and off, and something that I've been able to come back to, and I do feel very lucky that I was encouraged in running as a kid, and that it's not too hard to come back to when I fall out of it now. I do kind of want to start pushing myself a bit more in running, maybe after my bodybuilding show, but we'll see where that goes. Advice for someone who wants to compete. I don't know if I'm the best person to be giving advice because I feel so not in the bodybuilding world, but my main advice would be get a coach, because they know what to do. Like, it's so, even if you're knowledgeable about nutrition and fitness, like it's so hard to look at yourself objectively and know exactly what you need. And I'd also say just stick to your plan. Like, I think the hardest thing is sticking to everything, and often it feels like, oh, this plan's not working, or I'm not doing this, but actually it's just you're not sticking to your plan. And then the other thing I would say is just like stay true to yourself and where you started. If you want to be healthy, it's not all about winning, and a lot of things in the bodybuilding industry aren't healthy. Like, there's a lot of performance enhancing drugs, which I don't agree with. I don't think, like, even people who use them, I know that they work really hard and there's a lot that goes into their training, but I just think it's such a negative part of the sport, and I would advise you to stay away from them because they do have, or they can have, permanent lasting effects. So yeah, just stay true to yourself and enjoy it, and work hard. Okay, another bodybuilding one. What made you want to start bodybuilding? Good question, because it's very different to anything I've done before. The other kind of challenges and sports I've done before have been kind of more either running or hiking or mountain related or Arctic or whatever, kind of more of an adventure side of things. And bodybuilding is obviously a very aesthetic sport, and I'm not a very aesthetic person. I don't really make that much effort with my appearance. I like looking nice, but I don't like, it's not worth the time for me, so I'm often looking quite scruffy and like I haven't made an effort, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But I think the bodybuilding thing for me, it appealed basically during lockdown number 1. I started, one of my kind of lockdown obsessions was watching like fitness documentaries and YouTube videos, and I was watching a lot of CrossFit documentaries, and then started watching some bodybuilding YouTube channels, and I just thought, like, these people are bloody awesome and they're working so hard, and I wanted to have the experience of training like an athlete, of kind of really pushing myself in something and seeing a difference. And it just seemed like a sport you could do that in quite, you know, you could actually like start competing in a short space of time and go from zero to getting on stage in a few months. And like, yeah, I know I'm not going to win, I'm not going to do that well, I'm not going to have like super developed muscles or whatever, but it just seemed like it was the discipline that's needed that really appealed to me, the kind of really pushing yourself. You've got to train every day, everything in your life has to be geared towards this show. And yeah, that really appealed. And then also the side of it of like, I don't have a lot of body confidence, and I'm like terrified by getting in stage on a bikini. So I thought it would be really good for my confidence to give that a go and actually get on stage and be like, yeah, I'm being judged for what I look like, which is terrifying. And I just thought it would be a good challenge. Okay, and the final question is, do you want children? A juicy one. So I'm not 100% decided, but I've kind of been on a journey with it. So growing up, I always thought I'd have children because that's kind of what we're brought up to think, like everyone does and is normal. And then when I was about 27, 28, maybe 29, I started looking into maybe becoming a single parent through sperm donor, and I started exploring options and costs and things like that, and actually thinking this is something I might do. So I've actually, you know, come quite close to making that decision, maybe. So that was maybe 5 years ago. I'm 34 now, so yeah. And then like through exploring that, I started worrying about looking after a child while I have a mental health condition, and also I spoke with a perinatal psychiatrist, and she said there could be issues in the medication I'm on and giving birth, and a baby withdrawing from that when it's born is not like a deal breaker. The baby will probably be fine, but it just has risks attached to it. But the bigger risk is like if I become quite unwell while I'm a single parent, then I don't have anyone to fall back on, and yeah, it could just be really challenging for me and the baby. And then also over the last few years, I've just become quite like, it's not the be all and end all, and I'm actually quite happy as I am in a lot of ways. And I love children, I think they're brilliant, I love their energy, I love the joy they bring, and I know it would be great, but I think also like learning about trauma and learning about like however much a parent does their best, how much they're going to mess up their child, and like that scares me. And then also the cost, and so now I'm having all these like reasons why I'm like, yeah, I probably won't. Also Rowan, my girlfriend, probably doesn't want children, and yeah, so I think I'm like leaning towards not. But then more recently I've been like, actually I feel like I will want children, but not right away. I'm 34 now, so I like would have to start making that decision, but I feel like I still have my own life to live. I've only kind of come out of my like severely mentally unwell phase a couple of years ago, and I just want to like be myself and live my life and enjoy things, and that might sound really selfish. And then I also think about the environmental factor and bringing new people into the world, but also they might be really environmentalist children, so you just don't know. But more recently I've been thinking about the potential of adopting in the future, because say I'm ready to have a kid when I am like 40, and there's a lot less likelihood I'll be able to naturally, and I really believe in adopting. I really believe that like every child deserves a good home, and I feel like I could provide that loving home. And I know there are a lot of additional challenges that come with that, because children who've been in care have gone through a lot of trauma, they've been taken away from their birth family, and I'm like really aware of that, and they may have had issues with abuse and neglect when they're younger, so I know that that comes with additional issues, but it's something that like actually I think is really important to do. I feel like it's something that I have to offer. I feel like I could be a good parent, potentially. It's a scary thing to say, but I'm just not ready yet, and I'm getting on, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, yeah, because I also love kids, and okay, I'm kind of overthinking this now. I don't have to give a concrete answer, but yeah, I think that is it for today on the questions. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this interesting and it's given you a bit more insight into me and what I'm like and what I do. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments and maybe I can do another one of these. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.